Most people never enter that part of the forest. Too quiet, too forgotten. But 72-year-old Mary had lived long enough to know it's always the quiet places that hold the loudest truths. She wasn't searching for treasure. She just needed firewood. But what she found would change everything, not just for her, but for the whole village. Mary wasn't rich. She lived in a tiny stone cottage on the edge of Windmere, a village where news traveled faster than light. Widowed young, no children, but she was never unloved. She taught the baker's son how to read, sewed blankets for sick children, and always had a cup of tea and soft words for anyone who needed to cry. She lived simply, not for gold. But that didn't stop her from dreaming of comfort in her final years. That day, while gathering fallen branches near an old oak, she saw it, a glint, sharp, golden, peeking from the soil. She knelt, dug with trembling hands. A pot, heavy, sealed, ancient. Her heart thudded in her chest. Could it be? She pried it open and gasped. Gold, dozens of coins. Pure, heavy gold. Not just enough for wood. Enough to rebuild her home. To travel. To leave something behind. Tears welled in her eyes. Maybe life saying thank you, she whispered. The pot was heavy. Too heavy for her frail arms. But hope makes the impossible feel light. She found rope, an old sled plank, and began dragging the treasure home. It took her hours just to reach the main trail, but when she stopped to rest and peeked again, the gold had turned to silver. At first, she thought her eyes were tired, but no, it gleamed differently now. Cool, less warm. Her heart sank. Still valuable, she said aloud. Still enough for warmth. But that tiny seed of doubt had been planted. What if this treasure was a trick? A test? She kept walking. Every step was harder. Her legs hurt. Her hands bled. She stopped again, gasped. Silver had turned to iron. Dark, dull, heavy, worthless. She fell to her knees. Why? She cried. Why give and take? She almost left the pot behind. But something inside her said, you didn't find gold to be rich. You found this to remember something. She closed her eyes, and memories flooded in. The laughter of the children she'd fed, the hugs from strangers she helped, the time she gave her last apple to a traveler who hadn't eaten in days. Each of those moments had felt better than gold. Purer, warmer, more real. Mary stood up, smiled through her tears, and whispered, some treasures disappear, so we remember what never did. She dragged the iron pot back to the oak tree, dug a shallow pit, and buried it again. That night, back at home, she sat by her fire. Same old chair, same warm tea, but something inside her had changed. She felt richer than she ever had, not because of what she had found, but because of what she had remembered. Her life had always been full. She just needed the pot to show her. Emily, a young woman from a village, knocked on her door that evening. She'd lost her job. Her landlord threatened eviction. I don't know what to do, she sobbed. Mary held her hand and said, sit by the fire. Let me tell you a story about a pot that turned gold into iron and a woman who learned what real treasure looks like. Emily didn't leave rich, but she left change. The story of the pot spread, not because it was about treasure, but because it was about perspective. In a world that chases gold, sometimes the wisest hearts bury it, just to remember what truly matters. You don't need more to be happy. You just need to see more clearly. True happiness doesn't come from wealth or material things. It comes from appreciating what we already have. Like Mary, we often chase after dreams of gold and luxury, only to realize that real joy lives in simple moments, kindness, and the love we share with others. Life will bring changes and losses, but finding peace within ourselves and being grateful for the present makes us truly rich. Remember, no matter what you lose, your happiness is always something you can choose to keep. Embrace gratitude, and you'll find contentment even in the hardest times.